Hello, hello. It is me, Carlene from Get Nutrition Clients, and I'm really excited to chat with you today about 6 ways that I think you'll be able to get nutrition clients using Instagram stories. So, by now, you've probably heard about Instagram stealing a little bit more than a touch of Snapchat's thunder by taking all their features, or taking their most popular features and integrating it into Instagram in what they're calling Instagram stories. Um, what I want to stress to you in all of this is that there may be a first mover advantage here if you choose to integrate Instagram stories into your marketing strategy. And there's ways that Instagram stories may be more advantageous to you than Snapchat was really ever designed to be. But I'm not even going to spend that much time on that. What I really want to do is, if you're sold on the idea of using Instagram stories, I want to give you some tips on how to implement it. And so, yeah, let's get into it. Feel free to let me know where you're from. And I also want to know what type of nutrition work that you do. That would be really helpful for me to be able to tailor the examples and suggestions that I have in mind to you so that it can be most valuable to you. I'm just checking at my notes to make sure I don't miss anything if you ever see me looking away. I know that your time is valuable, so anytime that a change happens in the social media world, the strategist in me is reluctant to say just jump. I think it's worth weighing and assessing if a change is worth betting on, because really, unless you have a whole social media team that has the bandwidth to be on every platform, you do have to choose wisely. That being said, I do think Instagram stories is something that you should give a serious look at, and this Facebook Live will be all about making that case. If you have any questions along the way, don't hesitate to stop me. So as I said, I'm Carlene from Get Nutrition Clients. We do our best to serve up online recipes for success to help nutrition experts be able to get nutrition clients. My personal background is as an internet marketing strategist and working in the community nutrition space, coordinating research programs and community programs. But I don't really want to spend too much time talking about me. If you want to chat with me, you can PM me at any time or just leave a comment somewhere and I'll get back to you. The tech geek in me, though, is really excited about the shift that's happening here. I was a personal fan of Snapchat and was using it, but the rub for me was always that it was hard for people to find me. It's good for deep engagement if you have your own audience, but not great for building an audience. And so I'm really excited about seeing the best, or at least my favorite Snapchat features being brought over to Instagram, where people, even if you don't already have an audience, it's very easy to quickly start to build an audience. So yeah, let me know in the comments what type of nutrition work that you do. I would really love to know. But also let me know where you're from, not because it's relevant, but because I have a serious case of wanderlust. And I'm always, find wonder in seeing how big and small the world is at the same time and how the internet kind of brings us all closer together. Okay, so why Instagram stories? Why am I such a fan of this? And why am I such a fan that days after its release, I'm telling you need to hop on? I'm going to provide a little bit of context if you're not too familiar with Snapchat. Snapchat is a platform where you can post things that you can't edit aside from a few filters and putting some text on top. It's 10-second segments or less, either video or picture, but the kicker is that they delete in 24 hours. Now, Snapchat eventually became a place where people could do what many are calling life casting. And that's just sharing little snippets of their day, a little behind the scenes of a different, what do they call it? A day in the life. I always used to love, Hulu once had a series called A Day in the Life, and one of the people they followed was Questlove, the band leader of The Roots that plays for Jimmy Fallon's show, and just seeing a little behind the scenes of his life. And they actually featured some stuff about his nutrition and how he's trying to improve his health and why that's important to him. And just being able to see behind the scenes of somebody that you admire or somebody that you want to learn something from can be really valuable, or at least entertaining. And there's always little nuggets there that people pick up more passively those secondary messages that we sometimes forget that add a lot of depth to our marketing. So I'm a big fan of the behind the scenes and giving people a glimpse into that. But unless you have a camera crew following you around, or you decide that you want to be a daily YouTube vlogger or something like that, it can be really labor intensive. So a platform like Snapchat and now Instagram Stories is really awesome to be able to give that access to really everyone else. The thing with Snapchat though is that for marketing purposes, as I kind of mentioned, it was trash. You only had viewers on Snapchat if you brought them there. There was no building, and to date is no building an audience within Snapchat. There's no, well, if you post more, it gets exposed to more people. No, Snapchat didn't work like that. So you do all the work of bringing in every single person from other platforms that you've built, audiences that you've built, to come and engage with you on Snapchat. Now, the beautiful thing about it is that you could engage deeply, but it was really difficult to make your engagement broad as well. And that's what I think that Instagram Stories really brings that Snapchat just wasn't designed to do. The user experience just doesn't support that. So let me know, are you a Snapchat lover? Like, am I just shooting it down too hard? I mean, don't get me wrong, I am. Or maybe you're not a Snapchat lover, you never downloaded it, or you don't understand the hype. Like, I'd love to know which side of the fence you're on, if this is even relevant to you in terms of Snapchat specifically. But Snapchat aside, Instagram Stories, I think, unless Snapchat does something really interesting, I think Instagram Stories has the edge because of what I call the network effect advantage. People already have networks there, so it's really easy to grow quicker there. All right, so this is why I think Instagram Stories is better for business. You may not know this, but Instagram recommends pictures and videos to you based on who's in your network, based on things that they think you're interested in, based on hashtags that you use, based on captions. So they're suggesting things to you, but they're also suggesting your things. If your profile is public, they're suggesting your things to other people. So right away, it's built in to create a broader social network to take advantage of that network effect and help people naturally grow. Then on top of that, you can use strategies like using smart captions and hashtags to make you more findable even to people who are actively looking for you. So Instagram has marketing tools built in for you that Snapchat just sadly didn't have. So that's why I think Instagram Stories is a stronger platform than Snapchat. But as I said, this isn't about Instagram versus Snapchat. This is about how you can use Instagram Stories to get nutrition clients. So I am going to talk really quickly also about the difference between building on Instagram, the regular feed, versus integrating Instagram Stories. Okay, so odds are you're already familiar with Instagram feed, and the regular Instagram feed in the food and fitness world has a culture of what I like to call curation and really beautiful shots, which is awesome. So if you have an eye for food photography and good shot composition, then you should already be building your Instagram portfolio. But if you're like me, and when the food comes to the table, you're like, oh, okay, let me take those obligatory shots that I may or may not filter through later, but you really just want to eat. Instagram Stories is a place where you can say, hey, here's this messy oatmeal, but I'm eating oatmeal for breakfast. And that may be more relevant than you think. No editing is required or even allowed, really, in Instagram Stories. Now, the cool thing about Instagram Stories for a nutrition expert who is seeking to get clients is that whole behind the scenes thing actually does offer tangible value to your audience. If it doesn't offer value, then I'm not really interested in promoting it. The way that you can use it can offer value to your audience. And you might think, okay, well, who cares what I eat? Or what I do in my spare time. But the truth is, the right people will care. Your ideal clients will care. And this can serve as a way to engage both deeper in the way that, like I was talking about with Snapchat, you can give these behind-the-scenes glimpses for people that will care about that depth, but also wider in using the Instagram Stories platform to be able to access more people. Yeah, so you might think no one cares. Some people won't, but honestly, the popularity of food Instagram profiles and fitness Instagram profiles tells me that people do care. People do care to see those little mini recipe videos, and Instagram Stories allows you to do that without all the editing, and with the emphasis being on the content rather than the presentation, because no real editing aside from a few filters is really involved. You may not realize how valuable your information is about the food and fitness world. If you're like me, you live in a little bit of a bubble in that you're following people that you already admire in the space. You've already gone to school for this information, and you know a lot. And you know a lot of people who also know a lot. So you may forget that there are still many people that you can serve. So keep that in mind. Be aware that you might be in a little bit of a bubble of health knowledge. So those little things, like the behind the scenes of the health choices that you make, are important to someone. The other thing that I think is really valuable about Instagram stories is that working one-on-one with someone to improve their health is ultimately a very personal relationship. And a platform like Instagram stories really allows you to show who you are, because people buy from people. So you have an opportunity to just be you. And when someone wants to work with you in person or virtually or over the phone, they have a sense of the type of vibe. And that does matter. I've seen that to matter. So even if you're struggling with using Instagram in the traditional way in terms of those curated pictures, even if you've been struggling with that, I do still want to encourage you to jump on Instagram stories, because you don't have to have these beautifully edited pictures. You can just hop in with what you got as you got it. I know for me, I used to be the type of person who would get a new notebook and struggle with starting to use it, struggle with knowing what to put on that first page. And now I just put the same thing on every first page, which is basically just my contact information and like, do the right thing, return it to me, this is my brain, I really need it. And then some contact details to return the notebook. Sometimes we can get a little bit too committed to how an image will affect the overall brand, and especially something like Instagram that's really about beauty, has become about beauty. The culture has shifted into that on that platform. But Instagram stories, I don't predict to go that way. Just share what you know as you know it. So I'm going to get into some specifics about the types of posts that I think you can use that will help you to get nutrition clients. So far, I'm still being a little conceptual, but I am going to get down to the brass tacks. But I want to impress on you why I think you should move now. Hopefully, I've convinced you of the potential of Instagram stories as a social media platform that you can use for your business, the marketing potential. But if you think that it's a good idea to lurk and observe from a distance, let me tell you why I'm pretty sure it's not. There's so much to gain from taking immediate action. People are curious right now, and you have an opportunity to establish yourself as somebody who shares regular content on Instagram stories, so when somebody's looking for that little dose of inspiration, they know where to find it. Not everyone is sharing at all, and not everyone is sharing consistently. And with social media, anything that involves a network effect, it grows exponentially. So the earlier you start, the further along you will be, versus waiting. I really just want to impress on you to get started in there. So if you're not sure that Instagram stories is right for you, I do want to encourage you to be strategic in whatever decisions you make. But do feel free to private message me to chat about it, to figure out if you think it's a good fit for your business. I will listen as objectively as I know how. Odds are I'm going to tell you should do it, but there may be some reasons why you shouldn't, or why you should prioritize something else. Okay, so now how to jump into the action. The first thing you're going to have to do is make sure that your Instagram is public. If there's a reason why you want to keep your personal Instagram private, then you can set up a separate account. But if social media overwhelm is a problem for you, then I don't necessarily recommend that route. You should, as much as possible, if it works for your brands, stick to one account. And I say this because Instagram, or at least Instagram stories, is going to be a little bit more on the personal side. So showing the irrelevant, and quote, the irrelevant things may actually serve you. And I'll get a little bit into that when I talk about the examples of posts. Obviously, be yourself. That sounds obvious, but pretending is exhausting, and that's also why switching between the platforms may not be a good fit. But again, if you need some suggestions on how to fit this in, then feel free to message me and we can chat about it. I'm going to actually not take my advice because I have more than one brand, and I want Get Nutrition clients to specifically focus on nutrition business building tips. And you will see some of the behind the scenes. I do have some travel planned there. And if you want to follow the Instagram page for that, the Instagram profile for that, you can go to @getnutriclients.com. And we're actually going to be launching our Instagram channel there and getting into Instagram stories. And I'll talk more about that in a second. But I also have my personal Instagram, which is Carlene Graham, where I do things like I travel a lot, I sing, I eat. But Get Nutri clients, the Get Nutri clients profile will be a little bit more specific. All right. So if you need to figure out what path you should take for that, feel free to private message me or comment below and we can chat about that. Now, 6 types of posts for Instagram stories that I think will be really relevant for nutrition entrepreneurs who want to get nutrition clients. That's what we're here for. These are the 6 ways that I think you can use Instagram stories to get nutrition clients. Now, I acknowledge that it's really early in the game. Instagram stories just launched, but I'm very optimistic about this based on what I've seen people use, how I've seen Instagram used and how I've seen Snapchat used. I'm very optimistic about what Instagram stories is going to be able to do for your business. So, 6 types of posts. The first thing is kind of obvious. That's to post things that are diet related. To post what you're eating, what you're drinking. You might think this is frivolous, but honestly, sometimes I don't want a cookbook. I just need a meal idea. I don't need a cookbook to show me how to make avocado toast. But if I see you make it, then I remember that I have avocados and I have bread and I have some seasoning, some lime or lemon or whatever. And you may have given me that as a little dose of inspiration in showing me how you are doing it. And seeing real people do it versus seeing a really beautiful glossy cookbook that doesn't necessarily show all the behind the scenes of what it takes to make that picture come to life. Instagram stories can bridge that gap. Also, just keep in mind, there are so many food and health related decisions that we make each day, and simply sharing what you're doing and how you navigate those decisions, even talking through your thought process, can make a difference. That can be more enlightening than you may realize. So if you're somebody who sees clients, I know that you're used to sitting down and talking one-on-one with people and teasing those things out of them, but just showing how you're trying to live healthily can impact someone and add a lot of those secondary messages that add richness and really personality and character to our marketing. The second type of post that I think you can share is things relating to prep and planning. So take me to the grocery store with you. Show me how you meal plan. Show me how you store things in your fridge or your pantry if that's something that you're good at. Show me those things. Show me any tips and tricks that you've learned along the way. That will be helpful to me when I'm trying to make health a more central part of my life, but there's so many little things that need to fit together that you giving me a glimpse of your life or even just some suggestions that you see your clients doing and working for them can be helpful. So that's the second type of post. The third, I would say, is product comparisons or recommendations. Like, what in the world is the difference? Do you remember the book series? I'm sure they still make it, called Eat This, Not That. I don't know how useful that is, but I used to flip through those books when I would sit at Barnes & Noble for fun. I don't always know when I go in the grocery store and there are hundreds of brands of bread. I'm going to pick the one that someone that I trust recommended to me. So feel free to share your recommendations if you think that it will be relevant for your audience. This is really great if you are someone who focuses on like gluten sensitivities or a vegan lifestyle or things that are really specific like that. You have the opportunity to give specific examples as you're experiencing them. You don't have to sit down and type it out and figure out how to make it flow. 10-second clips. Take me to the grocery store and say, oh my goodness, I just wanted to share with you that I love this bread. It's really great. It has no sugar in it. I actually have an example like that. Sammy's Bakery, shout out to you. But that stuff matters. All right, what am I on? That was number 3. Number 4 is health things that are not diet related. So this is going to be like, are you into fitness? Are you into yoga? I know a lot of people are getting into yoga, or maybe you're into CrossFit. Share what you do. Share what you do that you think will be relevant to your audience. But even if you don't think it's specific to your audience, if it's specific to you and it's health related, then it's still a good option. Are you leading or participating in any health related Instagram challenges? Just show what you're doing. It doesn't have to be this perfectly beautiful picture. It can just be you showing what you're doing behind the scenes, and that could be more relevant than you know. The 5th thing is going to be random things. These are things that are not necessarily related to health at all. Like, what else are you into? Are you into travel? Are you into reading? Are you into your family? Do you like to go to conferences? What are the things that add more depth to your character, that show who you are, the type of person that you are? This is going to come through when you're doing videos. Hearing people's voices that I've been following on Instagram, I don't know why that blew my mind, but it suddenly made them more real than just these really beautiful color-corrected pictures. So video is a great differentiator. If you can hop in on that, then do it. But before, there were all these barriers of setup and technical know-how that Instagram stories kind of knocks out of the way for you. And the 6th thing is actual, in quotes, actual marketing. Now, all this stuff has been part of marketing. It's the social media part of social media marketing. But that's just social media engagement unless you include some actual marketing in there. And when I say actual marketing, what I mean is encouraging people to take that next step with you. It's something that you have to do, I think, very carefully on a platform like Instagram Stories. And that next step can just be a small yes. It doesn't need to be a, hey, my services cost $150 an hour, so sign up today. That might not be a good fit, but you might have you might have a free 20-minute consultation that you want to offer, or you might have a PDF that you think would be really good, or you might have a giveaway that you're doing that you want people to enter. And I'm going to give you some more examples of that on Get NutriClients Instagram profile as the days go on. But you want to make sure that you're taking advantage of the type of platform this is, that's all about engaging deeply. It's not so much about selling, but it's drawing people in closer. And if you're delivering value, then people will want more value from you. And don't be afraid to offer more value, even if that higher level of value costs them something like an email address or whatever it is, finding that balance of an exchange of value. So those are the 6 types of posts that I think will be really relevant for you using Instagram Stories to get nutrition clients. And I would just suggest that when you include marketing, you are natural about it, that you are personable about it, and that you are including it in probably like a 1 out of every 6 type of ratio, not something that you hit on all the time. Now, for some examples of some profiles that are using Instagram Stories in the health and fitness world, if you want to see what people are doing, so far there are 4 examples that I've seen that I like that I'm going to share with you. The first one is Joy McCarthy. Her handle is @JoyousHealth. I just discovered her as I was looking around for this and seeing like who's doing this. You know, the craze is happening now and people are looking for who to follow. Joyous Health was a really great one. Oh She Glows by Angela Liddon is another one. Lee Holmes has, her profile is Lee Supercharged, and Carly Rowena, and hers is at Carly Rowena. So those are 4 examples that I've seen that I like. Of course, you can follow at Get NutriClients to check us out, but we're not going to be doing health and fitness examples. We're going to be talking about business tips. Now, I don't like to leave things in the theoretical. I am all about implementation, so I'm going to encourage you to take action immediately. If you're convinced that Instagram stories could be a fit for you, post your first story today. There's no reason to wait. It's a 10-second or less commitment, and I'm just going to make it easy for you. Take all the thought out of it. The next thing that you put in your mouth to eat or drink, take out your phone, open Instagram stories. You just got to update your Instagram, and you should see the feature there on your home page. It will teach you how to do it if you haven't done it before. It's incredibly simple. Then take out your phone and do your first story of what you're going to eat or drink. Just take a shot of it, a picture or a video, and then just describe it. If you do a picture, describe it by adding some text on there. And if you do a video, just say, hey, this is my beverage of choice right now. Or if you're going to drink water, just say, I love water. It's really hydrating. You should have some. Keep it really simple. Get it out of the way. It deletes in 24 hours. Post it. Do it. And I want you to share it with me. Drop me your Instagram handle, and I want to check it out. So, yeah, Veron's next drink is going to be tequila. You know what? I can't even knock it. But say something about it in the context of health. Doesn't mean that it has to be like, oh, tequila is really healthy, but you might have a suggestion for how to make a lower calorie margarita. You know, why not? So whatever it is, take the thought out of it, grab your phone, the next thing that you eat or drink, and shoot a little Instagram story. Shoot me your Instagram handle, and if you're shy about it, you can private message it to me, but I do want to follow your progress. It's a 10-second or less commitment, and that's it. Now, if I've sold you on the merits of Instagram stories and you're ready to go all in, I'm going to do a 14-day challenge starting on Monday. All you have to do to find out about it is follow me over at Get NutriClients. And I'll share all the instructions on there on my Instagram story. I'm launching that Instagram profile now. Something I've been neglecting to do, but now that I have Instagram stories, I have no excuse. I'm putting my money where my mouth is, and I really want to encourage you to do the same and do it with me. So every day I'm going to share the challenge instructions on my story, on my Instagram story. And I just want you to PM me if you do it. You'll see how to do that in Instagram stories. So the value in doing it over the 14 days is really intrinsic. I think it will build your platform. It will have you in a better position to get nutrition clients, which is what this is all about, right? And also to offer more value to your audience, which is really what it's about. But if it serves as any motivation for you, if you do all 14 days, the person who does all 14 days of the challenge and has the most growth on their Instagram profile will get the first module of my new consulting program, which is going to be about 2 to 3 weeks of one-on-one consulting with me. That should have you in a better position to get nutrition clients. But don't do it because of that. Do it because Instagram stories will work for you. And this is just kind of a perk to try to keep you motivated. If that sounds good to you, or if you have other suggestions for equivalent giveaways that I can do, then I'll chew that over and you can shoot me some messages there. But that's it. I really think Instagram stories is the best next thing. If you know me, you know that I have not endorsed any other change, although I probably should with Facebook Live, considering that I'm using it right now. But I really believe in moving strategically, and I think that Instagram Stories is a good fit for food experts, health experts who want to get nutrition clients. I'm a big believer. So that's it for me. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot me a message or comment below. I'm going to include a couple resources down here. And I really look forward to hearing from you. So again, join me on the challenge. If you choose to do it, shoot me a message on Instagram at GetNutriClients for more details. And I look forward to seeing what you come up with. Cheers to your success. Veron, don't have too much tequila. And I'll chat with you all later. Good luck.